G'day and welcome to another flight review. It's been a while. Today we'll be flying from Sydney to Jinan City in Shandong Province, northern China. The flight is MU764, operated by China Eastern Airlines, which happens to be one of Sydney Airport's least frequent international flights, operating only once a week on a Tuesday. Check-in process was pretty smooth. Took us about 20 minutes to check in, and the baggage allowance included on this flight was 2 bags, 23 kilos each per person. So between me, my son and my partner, that worked out to be over 100 kilos worth of baggage, which we did not totally utilize. The flight was on time, departing at 9:20 a.m, originally scheduled for a midday departure, but this was changed later on, and in fact it suited us as that meant an earlier arrival into Jinan. Today's boarding process was via the bus gate, which required us to make our way to the bus gate departure zone to board the buses, which took us to the plane. Today's route will cover an approximate distance of 8,700 kilometres, taking us over parts of New South Wales, Queensland, Northern Territory, Maritime, Southeast Asia and upwards into mainland China. So once the bus arrived at the plane, we were greeted by this stunning A330, registration number B5931, with an approximate age of 12 years. Kitted out in China Eastern Airlines special People's Daily Online livery, which is a media organisation owned by the Chinese government. So I made my way to my seat. Unfortunately, I could not pre-select my seat on this flight, and given the 242 layout, I was separated from my partner and my son, but that's all right. I did get myself an aisle seat, and my son and my partner were directly adjacent. So just checking out the in-flight entertainment here. We do have a touch screen, which came equipped with an alright selection of English movies, as well as other international non-Chinese movies. It was enough to get me through the flight, and I guess for a plane of this age, no complaints really, especially given the price point as well and the rarity of this flight. We weren't really complaining. The English selection of movies included both Hollywood new releases, most of which are from the past year or two, and as well as some classics as well. This was perfectly adequate, I felt, for the flight, especially being China Eastern. I wasn't expecting anything on par with Emirates or Singapore Airlines. So given the fact that we had a functioning in-flight entertainment unit, I think already that was a bonus for this flight. As you can see here, the movies were categorized with various categories such as kids, comedy, action and more. Besides from this, the unit also included games, audio and a few TV shows as well. But above all, I was most pleased to see that there was also an in-flight map, which allowed me to track the progress of the flight throughout the journey, which always helps when you're stuck on what movie or show to watch. So when in doubt, just flick to the in-flight map. Before long, we were rolling down the runway, making our takeoff out of Sydney Airport on a very clear blue sky summer's day. Here's my partner capturing the takeoff on her phone, which I would normally do if I was sitting on the window seat, but today unfortunately I had to take the footage from a distance. About an hour into the flight, the first meal service came around with a drink selection including soft drinks as well as juice, tea and coffee. I went with the gung bao chicken and rice, which was all right. Had good flavour to it. The rice was well cooked. The portions on Chinese airlines, and a lot of airlines, especially in J-class these days, tend to be about this size unless you're really flying with, some of the more premium full-service airlines. Here's a quick look at the lavatory, which was clean and also came stocked with an adequate supply of tissues and face towels, as well as some lotion as well, which is always appreciated on a long haul flight like this. So I suppose nothing to really write home about, but again, perfectly adequate for a flight of this nature. And as is common with most commercial airliners these days, in the lavatory it does come with a baby changing table. So here is that baby changing table in action. And yeah, that's the loo. The flight also came equipped with in-flight Wi-Fi. However, as is standard, this was a paid service. I did trial it out. I entered my seat number as well as the last 4 digits of my ticket. Later on in the flight, I did actually decide to purchase Wi-Fi connectivity for the full flight, which was 150 Chinese yuan or roughly 30 Australian dollars. Unfortunately, I did forget that most Western social media websites are blocked by the Great Firewall of China. But here's the speed test that I did. The speed topped out at, as you can see here, roughly 3.96 megabytes. And again, unfortunately, at those speeds, a VPN just doesn't work. So I suppose I took one for the team, and you now know what the Wi-Fi speeds are like on China Eastern Airlines international flights. So here's the second meal service coming around roughly 3 hours prior to arrival into Jinan. I went for the fried rice, which was tasty, and came with a side of potato salad. And this time I went with coffee. And here's the interior of the cabin. As you can see, it's fittingly decorated with People First state media decorations. One thing the Wi-Fi did come in handy for was accessing Flight Radar 24, just to have a second, more interactive flight map that I could look at. So after about 11 hours and 1 minute of being in the air, we finally touched down in Jinan at approximately 5:40 p.m. local time. And having flown across the equator into the northern hemisphere, we found ourselves arriving into Jinan on a freezing cold winter's evening, and with it being winter, it was pitch black darkness outside. But overall, for the flight time itself, no complaints. The flight departed on time and arrived approximately 15 minutes ahead of schedule, which is always welcome on a long haul flight like this. And yippee, we've finally made it to Jinan City, the capital of Shandong province in northern China, where my partner is from. I do find myself coming back to Shandong quite often. As you might have seen in my previous videos, I've also flown from Sydney direct to Qingdao, the biggest city in Shandong, on Beijing Capital Airlines. Found this flight to be a lot more pleasant. We paid 500 Australian dollars per person, which was good value. So once again, thank you for tuning in to another flight review, and I look forward to sharing more reviews with you in the future. As always, feel free to pop any questions in the comment section.